Okay, next up we're going to add a little bit more to the bouncing ball, kind of tweak it to make it a little bit more realistic. As we have it now, we just have a more or less a linear animation that's not very realistic for the environment here. So in between, as we select in between each one of these keyframes, we can adjust certain things down here inside of our parameters for the properties. Now, one of the items that we can adjust down here is called easing. Now, what easing allows us to do is make the ball, as we approach the second keyframe in terms of our animation, how we want that frame to approach, how we want that animation to approach that keyframe. So we can have it approach to where that animation starts off slowly, or we can have it to where that animation starts off fast and then kind of ends at the end of that animation. So just to show you here, I'm going to start here right in the middle, and I'm going to come down and I'm going to do an easing out, full blast at 100, and we'll watch this animation. See how that animation kind of starts and it shoots downward? So let's go back, click in the middle, and instead do an ease in, -100, full blast. So now this is a little bit more realistic in our case. Is it starts out kind of slow there coming off the hand, and then it bounces toward the that second keyframe in our animation. So we want to go back and tweak that just a little bit, about -5 or -50, to give us just a little tweak there. So it's not an extreme case, just a little bit. And then we'll come here to the second half, and we'll click in terms of in the middle of that animation, and in this case we have it coming down there fast, which is easing in for us, and we want to do the same, about a -50 here, to get our orientation set for the second half of that animation, or the second half of those keyframes. And another thing that you can do in terms of the animation here is you can adjust things like the size of the bouncing ball. Since this is a graphic, we can go into this this ball here, create our free transform tool, and we can make this graphic a little bit larger on our side. Shift key to constrain that. We go down here to the second keyframe that we have. Make that a little bit smaller in our case, and then the very last keyframe, I'm going to go ahead and make that quite a bit smaller. So now when we play through the animation, we've got a size adjustment there as well as a position adjustment. So now when we play through it, it looks like it's bouncing out of screen and gives us a little bit more dimension with just modifying the size there, as well as modifying the easing in the out. And that's a good way. You can also click between and edit, adjust the easing out with a graph here, and you can play through the animation and kind of make adjustments on the fly as you seem fit. You can also allow Flash to rotate. We wouldn't necessarily see this with the square here, but if I went into my graphic and made this into a square object, went back to my scene, I can have Flash actually rotate counterclockwise, significant amount of times through that initial animation there. So you've got some properties to work with. You don't really want to turn that into a square there, but we do have that option in terms of our animation properties, and that's basically you click between your frames, and then you can adjust the properties here. And if you just click the frame itself or the object graphic itself here, you're going to get the graphical properties. And you could even go back through some of these graphical properties and select, say, the second keyframe here, and come down and decide, well, I want to adjust the tint of my of the ball here, and then come down here to my last property keyframe and make another tint adjustment down here at the bottom as it fades into the horizon. So you can do those as well. You can also do opacity adjustments. Lots of different options that you have on the keyframes itself. So a lot of control that you have down here at the properties menu.